Hey class, so for this next video, what I did was I named each and every one of the mist layers and I clipped them to each mountain range just so I know that each one has its particular layer associated with it. In order to clip, you see this layer that has this arrow that points downwards. I hit Option, and that makes this layer part of this layer right here. So it's only clipped to this particular layer. So mist 1 is clipped to mountain 2. Okay? So that's what I did for the rest of the layers over here. And what that means is if I go in here, I can actually um, do some kind of effects to individual layers without having to do anything. So I'm on the tree brush and I want to get out of it. So I'll just show you an example of what we can do. So whatever I do on this particular layer does not affect any other layers. So I'll give you an example. So as you can see, only this is happening on this mountain range because I've clipped this particular layer to this mountain. So I actually should name this Mist 2. And what's interesting about this is you can actually create some shadow effect, or light effect. So if I choose to eyedropper the color right here and go a little bit lighter, let's say I want to do a little bit of shade of light, I can do so. Might need to go a little bit lighter. But this is something that we can actually do on the side of the mountain. And you can do that for other mountain ranges as well. So that's just one idea that you can work with by clipping your layers to individual layers. So it's kind of like creating a sublayer. So I'm not going to do that though. I'm just giving you an example of what you can create within these sublayers. If you wanted to add like certain colors or certain strokes, brush strokes, you can definitely do that. So I don't know if you noticed, but I was having a big tree brush hovering over my drawing, and I want to teach you how to do that because we need to create some kind of tree range here. So I went into File and I created a new file right here. I just did 5 by 5 and then hit Create. So what I want to do is I want to create a tree, and I want to create a brush that just paints different trees. Not different trees, it's the same tree, it's just that you don't need to draw every individual tree, so you just paint the trees. And I'll show you how it's done. So when in doubt, you can always go into the Help menu and type tree. What you want to do is go into Render a Tree. So you're going to go into Filter, Render, and click Tree. So here we have the redwood, but if you go into base tree type, you have all different kinds of trees here. Palm trees, bamboo, cypress, maple, anything in this particular list you can use as a brush, right? So I'm going to stick to the redwood, and you can customize your tree to whichever you see fit. I'm choosing to add more thicker branches, and you can also see which direction you want the light coming in. If you want it to the middle, you want it more to the side, it's also possible. So I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to click OK. So let me go into my layers. Now I want to make sure I'm not on the background, so I want to get rid of that. So what I'll do is make a new layer, and then bring in my tree. So I'll go into filter, go into tree, render tree, and I'll click OK. And there it is. It's no longer on my background layer. So I want to make sure that my tree is not this color. I want to turn it into a silhouette. And to do that, I'll do Command U. And what that does is it brings out your hue and saturation. Menu, and you just want to bring down your lightness. So you've turned it into a silhouette like so, and you're going to click OK. So now what you're going to do is you're going to turn this into a brush, and to do so you're going to go into Edit, and you're going to go Define Brush Preset, and you're going to name your brush, say Redwood Brush, and click OK. So now you've turned this tree into a brush, and you can change the color of it as well. So let's say you want something lighter, which you can do, or you can stack your trees like so. So it's kind of a neat little trick. And so now that we have our brush, we're going to be using this in our mountain range here. Okay. So I'm going to decrease the size of my brush, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video.